But the best news is that the administration has started putting Nigerians back to work in fulfillment of its promise to also create jobs.
Federal government takes governance scorecard to the South-South.
There is nothing like caretaker. I remain the authentic chairman.
The circus of a patched roof and the leakages. Jobs creation portal attracts thousands. Plus, more food to assuage hunger. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on NTA Network News. I'm Cyril Stober. President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned Sunday's terrorist attack on the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida, describing it as criminal and cowardly. In a letter to the ambassador of the United States in Nigeria, James Entwistle, President Buhari conveyed Nigeria's heartfelt sympathy to President Barack Obama and the people of the United States. The president also assured the United States of Nigeria's continued support and cooperation in the fight against terrorism. President Buhari extends his most sincere condolences to the families, relatives, and friends of the victims. A condolence letter was signed by the Chief of Staff to the President, Abba Kyari. The Federal Ministry of Information and Culture's Town Hall meeting series for the South-South held in Uyo this Monday. It featured explanations from ministers and development processes by the administration to make meaningful impact on the lives of the people. The Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed stressed that there will be no communication gap between government and the governed. Anthony Forson reports.
As has been the tradition, the ministers gave a rundown of the achievements of the federal government as it concerns their ministries, with the Minister of Information and Culture leading the way, saying the federal government has started putting Nigerians back to work, as it promised to create jobs.
But the best news is that the administration has started putting Nigerians back to work in fulfillment of its promise to also create jobs. We are indeed on track. Of course, there's still so much to be done.
Rotimi Amechi of Transport and Ibeka Chukwu, Minister of State for Petroleum, who have been part of the meeting from inception, it has become a familiar outing for them with Nigerians.
No money, no money. I must thank the Minister of National Planning. Everybody was no money to do this project. We can't take the two, we must take one. We agreed that we will do both Lagos Calabar and Lagos Kano. Today, we are proceeding with Lagos Kano and Lagos Calabar. This year, we will commence with Lagos Kano, but we'll start with Lagos Ibadan.
For too long, we have relied on government institutions to be the track for development. That has got to change. Countries that have made it all over the world have been countries where individuals have the resources, have the intellect, have the creativity, and drive development. We must all begin to join hands to make a difference.
Just fresh from Ogoniland, after the Ogoni cleanup launch, Amina Mohammed explained that issues of the environment is not peculiar to one region of the country alone, that the federal government is prioritizing the impacts without leaving any area out.
Here we have to be honest with ourselves that a country that has been brought to its knees will take more than a day to rebuild. It's important that we address oil pollution. We launched the Ogoni cleanup, but that's only part of it. We said that that was our first step. The next step for cleanup has to be the rest of the Niger Delta, and we have to find the solutions to bringing forth how we do it.
Budget and National Planning Minister Udoma also had his chance to account for the federal government stewardship in the last 1 year.
1, diversify. 2, diversify. 3, diversify. And how do we do that? We need to create the environment for the private sector. Because ultimately, government alone cannot do it. Government can create the enabling environment. So one of the objectives we want to achieve this year is to move 20 places up the ease of doing business rankings by implementing fast-track measures for business approvals, acquisition of land titles, and so on.
One minister who made his debut at the town hall meeting series is the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Usani Uhuru Usani.
We are actually working for society, for the benefit of people. We are expanding this to be sure that whatever we are going to do has the approval of the local authorities through the governors of the states.
Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel spoke glowingly about the town hall meeting.
When people are regularly engaged and their inputs on the mechanics of governance sought, challenges explained and solutions preferred, I believe apathy and alienation are eliminated. And the net gain is that the populace becomes better informed about the workings and direction of governance.
In Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Yet in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, Governor Udom Emmanuel has advised Nigerians to close ranks and work for national development, irrespective of their political, ethnic and social background. It was during a conversation with Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed. Imo Etimudo reports.
Governor Udom Emmanuel noted that since elections are over, it is time for governance to provide the people with infrastructural facilities that will improve their well-being. The governor said good governance defies party divides and called on the political class to learn from the economic situation in Nigeria presently for the country to rise again.
So we know, as we are all Nigerians, there's no special role created for members of any political party. All we know is we are all together, we are one Nigeria, we are all the same.
Earlier, Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, intimated the governor on why his team is in Uyo and restated the commitment of the federal government to the vision of moving Nigeria forward.
We have been very, very pleasantly surprised at the level of cordiality and the level of support we see from the governor. And I'm happy to say that the governor has spoken one thing, that when we belong to different political parties, and that you don't need to be. Political parties are nothing but platforms, but that we all belong to one country, Nigeria.
Ministers of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, that of Niger Delta Usani, Budget and National Planning Udoma, and Environment Amina Mohammed were part of the delegation to the Akwa Ibom State Government House. In Uyo, Imo Itimodo, NTA News.
The newly launched jobs creation portal of the federal government has recorded over 400,000 successful registrations since it opened for submissions on Sunday, June 12, 2016. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant, Media and Publicity in the Vice President's Office, Alaulu Akondi, said government is very impressed by the enthusiastic response to the call for applications, stating that as at noon on Monday, June 13, only 36 hours after the launch of the portal, 403,528 applicants had successfully registered on the site and were in the middle of completing the application process without any hitches or system failures. He assured all Nigerians that the application process would not only be structurally robust, transparent and fair, but the selection process that will follow would also be based on objective criteria that has nothing to do with party affiliations. He stressed that unemployed Nigerians, both graduate and non-graduates, would be drawn from across the country on state-by-state basis. The rapid industrialization of Nigeria through development of iron and steel is a cardinal objective of the federal government. Minister of State, Industry, Trade and Investment noted this at a meeting with the Stainless Steel Importers, Sellers and Installers Association of Nigeria. Abdullahi Suleiman Yaji reports.
The seeming neglect of the iron and steel sector over time has affected production of industrial items such as iron rods, barbed wires and coils, capable of stimulating massive job creation. The situation, according to the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, is of concern to the federal government, hence its desire for partnership.
We have the steel policy under our National Industrial Revolution Plan, which is going to be a roadmap for them in setting up their factory. We're also going to ensure that as pioneer company or groups that are coming up with this initiative, whatever it is, incentives that we can provide for them, we would also provide, as well as also give them the institutional support in terms of developing a viable business plan and perhaps accessing from finance.
But the purpose of the visit is to seek the assistance of the ministry, because as an association, we are looking for a way of want to develop stainless steel in Nigeria. And part of it is building a stainless steel plant. Not just a stainless steel plant, a stainless steel market and others allied companies that comes with it.
The association added that it was seeking ways of advancing the fortunes of Nigeria in the area of manufacturing, stating that the iron and steel industry has a huge potential for economic diversification in Abuja. Abdullahi Suleiman Iyaji, NTA News.
Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngigi says the Buhari administration is determined to continue the fight against corruption, eradicate poverty, provide security and turn around the economy. He was speaking on the administration's achievements and Nigeria's permanent mission to the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland. Labour correspondent Emmanuel Ayimiru completes the report.
Permanent mission of Nigeria to the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland facilitates fulfillment of Nigeria's obligations to various treaties, policies and human rights instruments. Ngigi's visit on the sideline of the ILO conference is for the mission to be aware and spread the good news of what the Buhari administration is doing to Nigerians abroad and other international bodies.
The government are for corruption, and not only as they for corruption, the government have been transparent in all its dealings. You can see the publication done on what have been recovered.
Ngigi also stressed that the federal government is creating conducive environment for Nigerians to be self-employed as government begins job creation in other sectors.
As we speak now, the government is recruiting persons to reinforce the Nigerian police. 10,000 officers and men have been recruited. Materials for their work is also being given to them. Same or ditto goes for the armed forces of Nigeria.
The government is taking an important lead. We are also here to support and sell the program of government, because that's what is here.
The minister also told the mission staff that insurgency in Nigeria is gradually becoming a thing of the past. Emmanuel Ayemiru, NTA News.
The Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, says funding remains a major setback in the Commission's efforts at completing some major projects. The NDDC Acting Managing Director, Ibim Seminitari, while speaking on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria program, advocates proper structuring and monetary supervision to enhance operations. Gufan Shaji has more.
The NDDC, established to facilitate rapid transformation of the Niger Delta into a region that is economically prosperous, socially stable, ecologically regenerative, and politically peaceful, also has a mandate of formulating policies and guidelines to make this happen. Its operations cover the 9 oil-producing states of the region. NDDC's Acting Managing Director, Ibim Seminitari, says the Commission has made great impact in implementing some quick impact projects, distributing them across oil-producing communities to improve the region's economy and raise living standards.
In several communities in the Niger Delta, the NDDC is the only government they know. I mean, I was at Atifon in Ondo State. It's not even directly oil producing, but it's in an oil producing state. And the KBC said to me, every road you see done here was done by the NDDC.
Seminitari, however, points out that squabbles among some past executives, lack of internal accountability, as well as large-scale corruption has affected the progress of some projects in the region.
The Ogbenebe road that we were hastening, we ought to have commissioned that road in April. We didn't commission because the worker was kidnapped. 2 soldiers were killed on the project. I met with the government of Bayelsa State, and I said to them, if you still want this project, you've got to guarantee the security of personnel.
President of the Council for the Registration of Engineers in Nigeria, Koren Kashim Ali, pointed out possible areas of attention to quicken the achievement of positive results in the region through the activities of the NDDC.
We have a stakeholders meeting again of key stakeholders, not in their own places, in your own office. Bring them where you have control over their conduct. And they say, look, so everyone is making noise that you have not, like someone will say, my community is crying. You now show him the one that should be crying more. There should be some form of equity.
In Abuja, Gufan Shaji, NTA News.
The renewed collaboration between the Nigerian Armed Forces and the Federal Ministry of Communications has been described as key to fostering national security. Minister of Communication Adebayo Shitu made this known while receiving in audience the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai. Joseph Johnson reports.
While commending the armed forces for their gallantry in uprooting Boko Haram terrorists from their strongholds in the northeast and other parts of the country, the minister maintained that technology can improve their operations in combating the insurgents. He assured the Nigerian army of the ministry's readiness to cooperate by utilizing ICT to track down and defeat the terrorist group.
We are very proactive in this ministry at this now. Whatever needs to be done, we will do it.
Chief of Army Staff General Tukur Buratai said the partnership became necessary in order to carry out their tasks efficiently and professionally. He mentioned the areas of collaboration to include satellite and data communications, among others.
National security is key in this my visit here, so that we can collaborate in the fight against the Boko Haram terrorists and other security challenges we are facing across the country.
Other classified issues were discussed behind closed doors. In Abuja, I'm Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
A bit on the political front now. The leadership crisis in the People's Democratic Party has again deepened as Senator Ali Modu Sharif dramatically took control of the National Secretariat and declared the Makarfi-led caretaker committee illegal. Correspondent Abdullahi Garba Brindamkudu reports that the party's board of trustees says it is studying the situation before taking a final decision on the development.
Ranking in political leadership as it stands.
There was a mild drama as Senator Ali Modu Sharif, accompanied by Professor Wale Oladipo and Mr. Patai Adewale, both members of the embattled National Working Committee, attempted to enter the National Secretariat. They were stopped by the police on the order of the Inspector General of Police. After what he called consultations with the IG, Senator Sharif returned and was allowed in. He addressed journalists, restating that he remains the PDP chairman.
There is nothing like caretaker. I remain the authentic chairman unless the laws of our land, if the courts make a pronouncement and say that Ali Sharif is not the chairman, I will obey as I always obey them. Ali Sharif don't want to be chairman. They beg me to be a chairman.
Reacting to the situation, the PDP Board of Trustees, which only last week handed over the Secretariat to Senator Makarfi Interim Committee, described Sharif's action as undemocratic.
The party is supreme. The party is above every member. We'll still sit down to talk. But if this persists, it will not augur well, and for a kind of decision to be taken. Some people have different opinion on this case.
For those following this development in the People's Democratic Party, we recall that the crisis started when the party held two parallel conventions, one in Port Harcourt and the other one in Abuja, in which three sub-parallel chairmen were produced. The good thing, however, is that this has been done in a peaceful manner. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Brindamkudu, NTA News.
Wife of the President, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has described the death of former Super Eagles coach Shuaibu Amadu as a great loss to Nigeria and the rest of the football-loving family, both local and international. In a statement by the Director of Media to the wife of the President, Zakariyau Nadabu, Mrs. Buhari said his triumphant exploits will forever remain part of his indelible credentials of a true professional who stood out among many. Recalling that his demise came shortly after that of his colleague, Stephen Keshi, Mrs. Buhari prayed that the family will take solace in God, who is the creator of everything on earth. Still ahead on Network News, albinism. Nigeria joins the world to check albinism stigma. Stay with us.
If you hear a bomb explosion or gunshots of an active shooter, that might be a terror attack. At such times, always remember 3 action words: run, hide, report. Don't try to run towards the terror scene to save the situation, because there might be a second bomb blast or another attack. Run far away and take cover. Make sure you are safe first. Yes, it is in our nature to sympathize over the hurt, but remember, only trained personnel can help in such situations. When in a secured environment, promptly call relevant authorities and help will come. For anonymous reporting, call 09630-3250-5 or 0813-2222-106. If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
As the sun rises over the hills of Abuja, so too dawns a new way of life and exquisite standard of living. Enjoy your own originally designed and quality-built home in the serene and secure environment of Sunrise Hills. Experience this uplifting lifestyle with breathtaking views of the city. Rise above. Sunrise Hills is unlike anything you've ever seen before. A new way of life is dawning in the heart of Nigeria.
I'm an undergraduate student. I major in physics education. I teach physics and basic science to kids between the ages of 9 to 17. As a science teacher, teaching students about energy is one of the most interesting topics. Kids are playful, they are active. It is very interesting explaining to them that their activities can actually be converted into power. The shell kinetic and solar pitch is the perfect way to explain to them how energy is generated from their sporting activities can actually be converted into power.
Science is fun. It inspires. It teaches us we can convert our own energy into light. I want to become an engineer when I grow up.
What if your idea could change the world?
Glow is in the air. It's data. It's what you use every time you download music. It's what streams movies. It's what the banks use to check your account. It's the very lifeblood of modern living. Data. And where does it all come from? According to industry sources, more and more of it came from here. They acknowledge that Glow is now the largest data network in Nigeria. With your own Glow One submarine cable linked seamlessly to tens of thousands of kilometers with your own fiber optic cable. Glow can provide a huge data capacity anywhere at a more flexible and affordable price than anyone. It's simple. So you see, Glow is in the air. It's everywhere. Say hello to the Grandmaster.
Enjoy our new data overload. Double your data on every plan, like 6 gigabytes for 2,000 naira, 12 gigabytes for 3,000 naira, and 24 gigabytes for 5,000 naira. Dial *777# to select a plan. The largest data network. Glow, Grandmasters of Data.
If you work hard and sow, you deserve a good harvest. That's only fair. If you study hard, you deserve good grades. That's only fair. If you train hard, you deserve to win the prize. That's only fair. If you work hard as an employee, you should have something to show for it. That's only fair. At Premium Pension, we understand it's what you put in that guarantees a secure future. Talk to us today about your pension plan. Premium Pension. The future starts now.
Ask Peter what his testimony is. It's the healthy choices he makes every day. Now, it's your turn to start with a healthy choice.
With Olympic milk powder.
Olympic. Healthy choice. Olympic. Official milk of Manchester City Football Club.
We are here to serve, and indeed, Nigerians will get the service they have longed for and which they rightly deserve.
The leader today that we have in Nigeria is one the world has been waiting for. Nigeria is seen in a new and a different, very positive light.
With what President Muhammadu Buhari is doing, our economy will be strong and resilient to withstand the shocks.
He wants the best for this nation. We want the best for this nation. Our aspirations should be to put this country first, and together we shall make progress.
If we don't believe in our own country, nobody will believe in our own country. So we must make sure that we continue with the trajectory. We don't want to make a mistake of the past.
This president has a singular opportunity to make that difference because the whole country is behind him.
And by the grace of Almighty God and the sheer will and determination of the Nigerian people, we will come out stronger and more united than ever.
Thanks for staying with us on NTA Network News. The federal government has signed a tripartite agreement with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, and the Republic of Cameroon for the return of Nigerian refugees in Cameroon voluntarily and in a dignified manner. Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Mohammed Sani Sidi, said this when an African Union humanitarian mission led by Dr. Aisha Laraba Abdullahi, Commissioner of Political Affairs, visited the agency. He said there were about 80,000 displaced Nigerians currently taking refuge in Cameroon, and that the federal government has been making efforts to cater to all their basic needs. He said the federal and state governments, United Nations, international non-governmental organizations, and the private sector had done a lot to manage larger numbers of internally displaced persons in the northeast.
You can bring support from the African Union. I think it's a welcome development. The local government and the federal government and the private sector have done a lot in the past 4 or 5 years that we've been managing the large number of internally displaced persons. The last count put the figure about 2.1 million internally displaced persons across the country.
Dr. Aisha Laraba Abdullahi said they are visiting to assess the situation of IDPs and on areas of possible support. She added that displaced Nigerians were of concern to the African Union, as records indicate 13 million displaced persons and 3 million refugees on the continent. In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has directed immediate provision of additional relief materials to bring more succor to internally displaced persons in Yobe State who are back to their communities. Minister of State Foreign Affairs Khadija Abubakar Abba presented 1,350 metric tons of grains to Yobe State government for onward distribution courtesy of the federal government. Mustafa Yusuf Musa reports.
The Minister of State Foreign Affairs Khadija Abubakar Abba Ibrahim, accompanied by Yobe State Deputy Governor Engineer Abubakar Aliu, were at the NEMA store in Damaturu, where the maize grains were handed over to the state government for honor distribution to returning IDPs across the state.
The purpose of my visit is to present 1,350
metric tons of maize to the Yobe State government from President Muhammadu Buhari as a palliative measure for food security.
Gratitude to the President, President Muhammadu Buhari, for sending these food items to the people of Yobe State.
The minister was accompanied on the visit by members, Federal House of Representatives, Ismail Ahmad Gadaka, Sidi Yakubu Karaswa, and Abdullahi Usman Kukwa. In Damaturu, Mustafa Yusuf Musa, NTA News.
Persons living with albinism in Nigeria joined the rest of the world to mark this year's World Albinism Awareness Day. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday reports that apart from discrimination and stigmatization faced by these people, the day also focused on addressing issues and the need for stakeholders' intervention.
But my history came from my grandfather.
Although 30-year-old Vivian Anyadofu has both parents black, she says she has faced a lot of discrimination and stigmatization right from her teenage.
I don't see myself as an albino, so if you call me that name, if I have the opportunity, I'll fight you.
Miriam Jeremiah is a mother of a child living with albinism.
They taught us they should allow them to go into the sun. And whenever they're going to school, she made sure to cover them with cap. Use cap or umbrella, cover them. Don't expose their skin on the sun.
For some others who did not take these precautionary measures, skin cancer is the major challenge they face, which the foundation explains informed the choice of the theme, addressing health issues in albinism, need for stakeholders' intervention, a theme that instantly got the sympathy of the National Hospital to reinstate the skin cancer-free treatment.
We continue to admit them, we continue to provide what we have to treat them.
The treatment have been reinstated. The second strategy is to go the same way we went before to ensure that they get their money out of Ministry of Finance.
Currently, there are about 6 million Nigerians living with the oculocutaneous and ocular albinism. In Abuja, Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
The need for the federal government to adopt a national framework for implementation to mainstream older persons in policies and programs has been brought to the fore. Executive Director of the Dave Omokaru Foundation, Nigeria, Dr. M.M. Omokaru, re-emphasized this with United Nations focus on the issue. Olajide Bello has details.
The Global Age Watch Index indicates that the number of persons that are 60 and above as at 2015 is 901 million, which amounts to 12.3% of the world's total population, and projected 2,092 million, which is 21.5% in 2050. The steady increase in demographic profile and a falling traditional support system, according to MM Omokaru, is creating an increasing burden in many sectors as it proceeds in Nigeria. Healthcare, labor and retirement, social security, old age, as well as housing are fast becoming serious challenges.
Other Nigerians that are not in the informal sector, when they retire, there is something underneath them to hold them from falling below. So you find heightened and consistent poverty disproportionately amongst older persons.
Older Persons Act, social protection policy, strong legislations and age-specific policies are some of the identified ways out. The Global Age Watch Index 2015 overall ranks Nigeria at 86 out of 96 countries. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
The legislature parleys with port operators. Let's join Vera in our Lagos Center for details of this and more. Vera.
Thank you, Cyril. Good evening. This is Lagos. The National Assembly will soon come up with legislation that will make port operations flexible, promote export and enhance trade facilitation. Members of the Joint Committee on Senate and House Committee on Marine made this known at an interactive session with management of the Nigerian Ports Authority and port operators in Lagos. Ademola Adeoye has the details.
The members of the Joint Committee of the Senate and House on Marine and Harbour at the Interactive Forum stated that their mission is to collaborate with government agencies in the maritime sector to find a common ground of redeeming the nation's ailing economy. Going by the development in the oil sector and the determination of the federal government to diversify the economy, they noted that all hands must be on deck on how to shore up the federal revenue to provide funds for government to implement its programs.
We want to see the possibility of government to give a kind of incentives or be able to change the policies to help, important so that our ports will be life again.
Other issues discussed include how to create the necessary awareness for importers to take advantage of the windows of opportunities, especially in the export sector.
We are trying to emphasize, along with the government policy, on seeing how we can look at the export side of the economy, so that at least the government is trying to see how they can diversify the economy. We also look at how we can be into the system and how we can assist government in the export drive.
An enlarged meeting with terminal operators and other major stakeholders on how to tackle the challenges at the port has been scheduled for next week, Monday, in Abuja. In Lagos, Ademola Adeoye, NTA News.
Good name, exemplary lifestyle, and using one's wealth of knowledge to impact the society are some of the best legacies anybody can leave behind. Those were the words of Venerable Segun Ladeinde, Vicar, Anglican Church, Peninsula Parish, Lekki, at the memorial service of late Jimmy Ati, former Executive Director News of the NTA. Annie Daniels has details.
These are friends, family members and former colleagues of late Jimmy Ate. They have come to pray at his graveside in remembrance of the deceased, who passed on exactly 1 year ago.
His legacy, his kindness, his legacy lives on in our lives. He was full of life and also full of knowledge.
When you go to places and you mention your name, everyone wants to know, oh, are you related to Jimmy Ate? And when you say yes, you always meet people want to help.
The officiating priest noted that everybody, irrespective of age or ethnicity, is created by God to make a difference and affect the society positively.
When we are preserved, we must use that preservation wisely by making the world a better place than we met it.
Late Jimmy Ate died on the 13th of June 2015. He was aged 66. He was at various times the General Manager, National Theatre, Lagos, Executive Director, Programs, and Executive Director, News at the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
He's someone that touched so many lives, within and outside NTA.
Jimmy Ate was one who lived all his life in humility.
Prayers were offered for the peace and well-being of those he left behind. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
We take a break at this point to bring you some messages. The news returns shortly with Cyril on Abuja. Please stay tuned.
Morning, oh. Morning. Hi. Morning, oh.
Good morning.
Hey, how are you today? How are you? Morning, my son.
Hello, what's up?
Welcome, man.
How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Everybody is coming back to campus and nobody wants to leave. Because with Glow Campus Data Booster, you get 8 times the value of your data when you're on campus. That means 8 times your chatting, browsing, pinging, and more.
Who are these people? Come on, get this. What the?
With Glow Campus Booster, you get 8 times the value of your data plan while on campus. It now comes with free talk time. Dial *777# and choose your Campus Booster plan. The largest data network. Glow Unlimited. What?
What are you doing?
Stop!
There you go.
Yay, Indomie!
Special
amazing moms who identify and nurture the uniqueness in our kids.
To all the unique children of the world, Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Umaru, you need to give me discounts on this coupon.
You do like a woof. You wear the complaint now 80 salads you suppose they use.
Buy your Etisalat SIM today and enjoy these massive bonuses. Recharge 200 Naira and above and enjoy 150% bonus to call all Etisalat lines. Recharge up to 1,000 Naira and above in a month and get 25% of all your recharges.
Etisalat, now you're talking.
Suppresses cough.
How is my baby feeling now?
Well enough to go.
She's lively again with Refugee.
Provides fast multi-symptom relief. Also contains paracetamol, pseudoephedrine hydrochloride, and dexhydrobromide.
Look at this.
Marketed by Pharmatex Nigerian Limited. Available nationwide. Flucodane. If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult your doctor.
My son will make winning a habit only when he beats me, not when I let him win. After all, habits are not made in a day. Neither are they made easily. So the day he beats me, I will win too. Only a mother knows the importance of good habits. That's why I give him Cadbury Bonvita every day.
You get 3 kinds of moms. The paranoid mom, the cautious mom, and the Dettol mom. She only trusts Dettol antiseptic liquid to protect her family from up to 100 illness-causing germs, and it's recommended for cuts and scrapes, which is why you can worry less and love more. Don't just be any mom, be a Dettol mom.
Still watching NTA Network News. And business news tonight, Smedan to create 1 million jobs through NEDEP. And Bankers Committee seeks to limit cash withdrawals to 10,000 Naira in the wake of dwindling deposits. Details with Leah Katumba Batundi.
Government agencies in the National Enterprise Development Program, NEDEP, are planning a roadmap to re-engineer the small and medium enterprises sector of the economy for rapid growth to reduce poverty in the country. The agencies comprising of the Small and Medium Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN, Bank of Industry, BOI, and the Industrial Training Fund, ITF, say SMEs serve as the engine of economic growth as their activities generate wealth through job creation and poverty reduction.
The target on this program is to create 1 million jobs each year. And the essence of our meeting here is to collaborate, to have synergy between the agencies so that we can move this country forward, develop the economy, and move the economic forward.
They identified lack of synergy among implementing agencies, poor packaging of business plans, as well as slow buy-ins by state governments as some of the major setbacks to the actualization of the program.
Whatever we are doing now, we should know that our children will reap the consequences. If we do well, our children will benefit and they will pray for us.
They maintain that diversification of the nation's economy will not progress if the challenges in the SME sector are not addressed. The harsh economic conditions facing the country have led to a drastic reduction in customers' deposits in banks, with the industry recording a decline of about 1.03 trillion naira in total deposit. The Bankers Committee had sent a proposal to the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to limit across-the-counter withdrawals to 10,000 naira, following a major drop in customers' deposit. Between April 2015 and April 2016, the total deposits of bank customers with the deposit money banks dropped by 5.6% or 1.03 trillion naira from 18.54 trillion naira to 17.51 trillion naira. With Business News, I'm Leah Katung, Baba Tunde.
We'll take another break now for more messages.
Are you unemployed? Do you need skills? Are you young and want to participate in building a new Nigeria? you need to get empowered. Empower is designed by the federal government of Nigeria to help young Nigerians acquire and develop lifelong skills to become solution providers in their communities and to become players in the domestic and global markets. Through Empower, young Nigerians are empowered with the necessary tools to go on and create, develop, build, fix, and work on exceptional ideas, projects, and enterprises that will change our communities, our economy, and our nation. Empower will convert the team in unemployed to a pool of 500,000 empowered teachers, agriculture extension advisors, healthcare assistants, and community services volunteers. There will also be a pool of 100,000 software developers, hardware service professionals, animators, graphic artists, building services professionals, artisans, and others. Don't sit down hopeless and helpless. Get up and get empowered. Apply at n-power.gov.ng and learn about where you fit. Details of physical registration points near you will be announced soon. Empower is an initiative of the Social Investment Program of the Federal Government of Nigeria.
The novel homegrown school feeding program just flagged off by the federal government. This is the focus on NTA Tuesday Live as experts throw more light on the importance of the program to the Nigerian people. NTA Tuesday Live, educative, informative and incisive. Don't miss it.
The land is green. Yes, the land is green. The federal government is working diligently to keep the land green. In line with the vision of government, the Debt Management Office is committed to managing Nigeria's debt as asset for growth, development and poverty reduction. Be a part of building a better Nigeria by investing in FGN bonds. FGN bonds offer several benefits to investors. Principal and interest are guaranteed and secured by the federal government of Nigeria. They are listed and traded on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. They can be used as collateral for borrowing. Investors receive guaranteed competitive fixed income every 6 months as well as principal amount at maturity. You can invest as little as 10,000 naira in the FGN bond. To be part of this great offer, see your stockbroker, banks or discount houses for details. TMO, using FGN bonds to support sustainable economic development.
You get 3 kinds of moms. The paranoid mom, the cautious mom, and the Dettol mom. She only trusts Dettol antiseptic liquid to protect her family from up to 100 illness-causing germs, and it's recommended for cuts and scrapes. Which is why you can worry less and love more. Don't just be any mom, be a Dettol mom.
Every day, more and more people are waking up to a more advanced toothpaste. A toothpaste that's already improving the oral health of millions of Nigerians. A toothpaste that's committed to making Nigeria's teeth healthier and stronger. That toothpaste is Oral-B Pro Health. Unlike regular toothpaste, its advanced fluoride technology gives you better protection against bacteria and gum problems that can lead to tooth loss. So come on, join us today. Oral-B Pro Health for healthier, stronger teeth in 1 week.
A bit on the global scene now. United States President Barack Obama says there is no clear evidence that the Orlando shooter was directed by the so-called Islamic State group ISIS. This and more on Global Tidbits with Gabriel Odu.
Latest reports from Orlando gay nightclub massacre indicates that the gunman was carrying a grudge in his heart. Father of the gunman has said. Omar Mateen, a native of Afghanistan, had a wife and a child. Meanwhile, Islamic State has claimed responsibility, saying Omar was their soldier. Casualty figures still stand at 49 deaths, while 53 injured. And from South Africa, the defense witness to South African athlete Oscar Pistorius says the athlete is a broken man with major depression issues. Oscar Pistorius was convicted of murder of girlfriend Renvak Steenkamp in 2013. And Eritrea has accused Ethiopia of launching an attack at the country's heavily militarized border. Ethiopia is yet to respond to the accusation. That's Global Tidbits. Gabriel Udu, NTA News.
Sports now, and Osadeni's Mixed Secondary School in Asaba emerged winners of the male category of Nestle Milo Secondary School's Basketball Championship held at the Stephen Keshi Stadium in the Delta State capital. Austin Edemodu reports.
Of the day between Wesley Girls Secondary School, Lagos, and St. Jude Girls Secondary School, Amarata, Bayelsa, was keenly contested. The Lagos female team later defeated their Bayelsan counterparts by a narrow margin point of 30 to 29 points. Government Secondary School, Goku, finished as second runners-up.
The game was very tough, but we did not give up.
What I told the player is that we have to be focused, we have to be determined.
A mistake will always happen in a game to emerge a winner, and that was what happened. I believe the mistake came from my side.
The climax of the competition was a final between Osadeni Smith Secondary School, Asaba, and Government Secondary School, Karo, Abuja. The Delta team won 57 against 49 points to clinch the May trophy. Crowther Memorial College, Lokoja, finished as second runners-up.
The children, they worked hard.
This is the first time that it's leaving Lagos State and coming to another state, and it's no coincidence that Delta was the chosen location.
And it's interesting that not only the Delta host very well, they also won very well.
Nestle Nigeria, particularly Nestle Milo, happens to be number one that supports grassroots sports in Nigeria.
12 secondary schools across the federation participated in the national finals in Asaba. The winners went home with 150,000 naira, while the first and second runners-up were rewarded with 120,000 and 100,000 naira respectively. I'm Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
Former Super Eagles goalkeeper Emmanuel Babayaro says the death of coaches Stephen Keshi and Shuaibu Amodu will continue to be painful to football lovers and the nation. He stated this in an interview with Benny Adams in Kaduna. Here is an excerpt of that interview.
I can't even watch a live game if I love the team. If it's my club playing Kaduna United or my Academy Pioneers or the Super Eagles or the Eaglets or the Flying Eagles or the Under 23 or the Falcons, I never watch it live. Ask my friends. I only watch pre-recorded games because it's heart attack every time. Coaches go through these things every single day. It becomes part and parcel of them. And that is where I have my concern. That, when coaches are out of a job, now that is actually the most dangerous times for them.
More sports now. Nigeria's women's basketball team seek to be at the Olympics in another qualifier in France as Brazilians mourn their ouster from Copa America Football Championship. Amanzi Marcos reports.
Nigeria's women basketball team, the Tigers, will on Tuesday play South Korea in their second match at the FIBA Women's Olympic Qualifying Tournament in Nantes, France. The competition holds from June 13 to 19, with 12 countries competing for 5 Olympic basketball slots, and Nigeria are in Group C with Belarus and South Korea. Austrian Dominic Thiem became the first player to win 2 titles on 2 different surfaces this year when he defeated Philippe Koch-Reiber to win the Mercedes Cup in Stuttgart on Monday. The French Open semi-finalists won 6-7, 6-4, 6-4 after their final on the grass courts had been halted by rain before the first set tiebreak on Sunday. World number 7 Thiem, the fastest rising player on the ATP Tour, won on clay in Buenos Aires and Nice and on hard court in Acapulco this year. Brazil were knocked out of the Copa America after a 1-0 shock defeat against Peru at Foxborough, Massachusetts on Sunday. Raul Ruidiaz scored a contentious close-range effort for Peru in the 75th minute, which had the referees deliberating for about 4 minutes before play resumed.
Today, everybody saw the handball. There is nothing we can do. If there isn't the footage to get all the information from, all your work can be thrown out by one mistake.
Ecuador booked their spot in the Copa America quarterfinals with a 4-0 win over Haiti in Group B. Group B winners Peru will now face Colombia on Friday at East Rutherford, where Ecuador will face hosts USA on Thursday. With Sports News Update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
The Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria has announced the death of its acting registrar CEO, Mrs. Olufunke Folashade Omotui, who was stabbed to death by suspected assassins at her residence in Abuja last Wednesday. She was aged 59. A service of songs to be organized in her honor at the Basilica Grace Anglican Church, Abuja, on Tuesday the 14th. On Thursday the 16th, there will be a commendation service for her at Archbishop Vining Memorial Cathedral, Oba Kinjobi Road, Ikeja, by 9 a.m. Christian wake follows at St. Michael's Anglican Church, Ifaki, Ekiti State, while interment takes place on Friday the 17th. She is survived by her husband, children, and grandchildren. Now let's take a quick look at the weather.
Hello and welcome. My name is Oluchukwu Anoku with the weather forecast. We anticipate cloudy morning in most parts of the country, with the exception of few cases of isolated showers, especially over the coastal cities. And onto the forecast, chances of showers are likely around the Mambela axis, the coastal cities like Eket, Calabar axis, and also Warri and Benin and their environ. In the afternoon, we expect some buildup of weather activities to give rise to thunderstorms around the northeastern part of the country, the central cities, and of course, the southern cities. Next is temperature forecast. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.
That weather report concludes Network News Tonight. We thank you for watching. Good night.